Group Capital.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners looking to keep the winning happening. They took the series from the Rangers, taking 2 of 3 over the weekend. They welcome the A's to town, and they're going to send Emerson Hancock to the hill in Game 1, who's been outstanding. He's got a 2-1 record and a 2.28 ERA going into this one. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with a pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. A roster move was made by the Mariners. They put Brendan Donovan on the 10-day injured list with a left groin muscle strain. That's retroactive to April 18th. Will Wilson has been selected from AAA Tacoma to take his spot.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
I actually talked about it on You Betcha on the podcast.
He is an unrivaled source of baseball knowledge.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
A guy who always has your back.
Pants back on, try and make the uniform look sweet in a split second. Come out, and I'm trying to open the door. I'm like, what the? And I said, listen, buddy, put your babysitting shoes on, because Dad's going out for Father's Day. You got to watch Top Gun. You guys don't listen when I speak. I'm talking to a brick wall right now.
Ryan Rowland-Smith, every week with Wyman and Bob.
That's the open right there.
He's here, everybody. Each and every week we look forward to this conversation, talking some baseball with a man who knows a thing or two about the sport. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. He is Ryan Rowland-Smith. And Ryan, I've been directed to ask you about your hair. Yeah. Mike Lefkoe said you got to ask him about his hair. He's trying to look like Goldie.
That's how we're going to start the week. This is, by the way, this is like the start of my week is talking to you guys. It's my favorite 15 minutes. And then the first thing that comes to my introduction to the new week is Lefkoe's stupid question.
It is a relevant question, though, right? The hair looks different.
Now, look, first of all, I've changed the hairstyle. I've had the same hairstyle for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I switched it up. Now, I haven't cut it for a while. My son got his hair cut, my 7-year-old son, the other day, and I was like, man, it looked pretty decent. So I'm actually trying to look like my 7-year-old son who could beat you at pickleball. That's what I'm trying to do.
Looks good, man.
Well, and as I was
stick with it.
I need a haircut. Put it that way.
Nah, it looks good. It looks good.
Trying. Sorry, Lefkoe.
It's a little high there, but
it is. Yeah, it's
you know
a
what
crazy.
though? Like I accused you yesterday of being on steroids, and I
did,
I had to explain to him like that's a good thing in the States here, mate. Okay,
you know, I was going to reply, but speaking of Lefkoe, right? So I think there was some mention there about pickleball or something. So
of course there was.
In regards to PEDs, they don't test in pickleball. You know why? Because they don't test in chess either. Because non-athletes play. It doesn't give you any athletic advantage because you just stand there hitting a little ball over a giant table tennis court. So it doesn't matter. They don't even test for that. They don't need to.
They don't test for people who play chess.
That's so funny.
Hey, by the way, nothing against people who play chess, man. I mean, I love some chess. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Ryan,
let's get into it.
Yesterday, post-game, you introduced me to Brian Woo's dad, who couldn't be a nicer guy. What a good dude he is. But
Clayton, yeah.
We were talking about his son, we were playing sound from Brian. It is so funny to hear him talk. I mean, how many pitchers, back in your day pitching, and if I said, look, you can take your chances with how good you feel right now, or I can guarantee you 7 innings and 2 earned runs. How often would you take that because if you heard Brian talking, you would have thought he lost the game. It's amazing how hard he is on himself. I mean, he was just like, first hitter in the seventh inning, I walk him, then I plunk Jock Peterson, stupid. He just, his tone of voice was just, I mean, I love that he's that competitive, but my goodness, is he hard on himself.
Yeah, and I think I tell kids this all the time because I try and mentor a lot of teenagers, especially trying to transfer from, especially from Australia, coming over to play college baseball. Now, I was really hard on myself as a kid, and it can be really counterproductive for sure. Now, the only way that you can be, someone who is like him, like a perfectionist, let's get real, he really is. You have to be really talented to do that, because if you're not, or if you are, if Brian Wu was, say, 70, 80% of what his ability is, man, I'm telling you, being that critical is going to backfire on you big time. However, watching him process, and you mentioned meeting his dad Clayton yesterday and just talking to both his parents just outside the clubhouse there with yourself and talking to his mom, I said, oh, man, he got to that same place in that seventh where he has the ability to take that extra breath, and I get sick of talking about it on the broadcast. I talk about it every time because it's so impressive, where he gets in a jam late and he's at that last 10% of his pitch count where you start to physically, mentally, you're starting to fatigue, and he's able just to slow everything down, take a breath, and just execute, especially after he missed a pitch prior to that. And we were talking about that during the broadcast, man, where he missed a couple pitches here and there, and he's takes that big exhale and rip through and get it done. So, and his mom actually, she's standing there and she's like, oh yeah, I can see him get mad at himself and he needs to just chill out. But he's done better at that. So I think watching Brian Wu, everyone talks about, obviously the stuff plays here. We know that all-star level last year. The tenacity, the attack plays here as well. But I think that step above, that level up for him is getting through some of those spots. Now, if he's willing to sit there and pick it apart with us after the game, it's awesome because we love hearing that stuff. But I just think that if you are any less talented than him, man, that being that uber critical can backfire like it did with me. I mean, I was never as talented as him, and I was super hard on myself, and it cost me big time. But with him, man, I just think he's got that mastery on the mental side of this game that it's been pretty evident going back to last year and this year too.
That's pretty interesting to hear, Ryan, because I've always thought, well, it's kind of a good thing because most athletes, they don't remember their best plays. They remember their worst plays and everything, but pitching just so different. But hey, we were just talking about Brendan Donovan and just kind of some of the bad luck that he's had. I mean, he got sick. I mean, that's not like a big deal, like he's vulnerable to that or anything. Yeah. And now, you've got some injuries here. He just seems like a guy that is such a grinder that I don't really worry about him being that guy that's going to miss games. Do you feel that way about him?
Well, it's interesting. The injury that he's just been put on the IL, look, I'm not, it's nothing, knock on wood, severe. But remember, Ty, I remember talking to you guys about this, with Ty France. Gets hit on the wrist, and it's like, dude, you need to take a couple extra days because you don't want that to start messing with those swing mechanics or anything like that. But he just couldn't stay out of the lineup. And I think with Brendan Donovan, it's very similar in that regard where he is just dying to get back in there. Now, I think also, too, last year with the Cardinals, he had the similar issues, and it kept popping up. And maybe some of that is because, he's like, yeah, I'm good, and he gets back out there a little too quick so it can work against you. But, man, I just look, speaking of him being sick, by the way, I spoke to him after. I said, hey, you feeling better? He goes, I'm about 80% there. I said, how bad was he? He goes, dude, I couldn't get out of bed. I was struggling. He goes, I've never been that sick. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, man. And then I come to find out, talking to some other people, they were like, dude, just stay home. There was one game here where he didn't play, but he was on the bench. That day, he was struggling, man, like really sick. And he was here. And I just, look, I just respect that so much. I love that quality. And we all know that already with Brendan Donovan, even just a couple of weeks into this season. However, when you're talking about this team starting to click and fire in 1 through 9, you want to make sure that everything is dialed in with him and there's no nagging injuries when you're talking about July, August, September, that's for sure.
Hey, what was your reaction over the weekend to Munoz getting thrown in there? He unfortunately got thrown in a game that I didn't think he should have had to be in Saturday when Wilcox kind of fell apart. But looking at it now, you're like, maybe that was the best thing. He comes in with the bases juiced, tying run at the plate, and you're thinking, oh no, here we go again. And he gets that strikeout of Nimmo, which was massive, and then we saw him yesterday looking like Munoz again. Do you think that one moment, that strikeout, was sort of a launching pad for his confidence?
Yeah, it's not something where, and I say this because bullpen guys are so different to starting pitchers, man. I've done both, and when you're in that frequent where you're in there every single day, look, the next day could feel completely different. But we know about what was going on down in San Diego. I think there was a combination there of, some of the things getting in his head. We know how he can wear his heart on his sleeves at times, that's for sure. He's really emotional, pitching against his former team. Didn't have his slider, everything else. But then I think what happens is it catches you by surprise where you're pitching in that game with Cole Wilcox. All of a sudden, it started to unravel. Big lead unraveling. And you don't have time to over-process. Now, as a starting pitcher, the biggest thing I had to get over was just that constant 4 days in between starts, just living the moment in my head from the last game, being uber critical, and then having to worry about the next game. As a bullpen guy, it's like, ring, get going. You got to be ready in 2 hitters. Like, boom, you don't have time to process. So the fact that game there on Saturday you're referring to, he's sitting with his feet up, and then boom, he doesn't have time to over-process what's going on with that slider or where his grip is or any of that rubbish, right? Because, dude, he is so nasty. And you're watching me like, easier said than done. We're watching, up here, and we're thinking, dude, just throw it down the middle and you're good. Well, it's not that simple, especially when you're over-processing. So I think that was a huge silver lining for him, the fact he had to get out there on that Saturday and just rip a couple sliders where your back's on the right. You don't have little room to play around. And people have said too, hey, just throw him in some low leverage. That doesn't help. I'm sorry. It's not the same. So that they were forced to use him. And they did, and it worked. And you saw it, dude, yesterday, man. He was just the presence, the cadence in between pitches, and the rhythm. Dude, he looked back to, and it's just a couple days, man. That's what I'm talking about with these bullpen guys. A day later, they're completely different dudes. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because you have to flush it so quickly, and you're going up. Because, I when he said that, when Munoz said that, I was like, he's lost? Like, uh-oh. But yeah, I mean, quick turnaround. I like that he kind of forced the issue too, Adam.
And by the way, too, just sorry to cut in here, but you mentioned the him saying he's lost. You remember a couple of years ago, man, when he came over to the Mariners, he was just like 80% sliders. I'm like, dude, you throw 100. What are you doing? And he said, I just didn't trust. He felt lost with his fastball, man. This is like a dude coming off the IL, whatever. So that's in him, but that's just what you got to deal with Andres Munoz. He's an all-star level closer. He's amazing. He literally says, Cal, set up down the middle. I'm aiming for your mask, and that ball's just going to do whatever. And good luck hitting it.
Well, and it sounds like he kind of forced the issue, because he was praising the staff, saying, I love that they care about me, but I got to get out on the mound, and and he went and was throwing bullpens out there and everything. So that was cool. Hey,
you don't want to be coddled, right, Dave? I mean, I'm sure you were the same way when guys are, I don't know how it was in your generation. It's a lot different now than what it was back when I was playing. But you don't want to be Brandon Morrow. Sorry to keep cutting in here, Dave. I can't let you get to your question here. But Brandon Morrow, man, you have him on, and he'll tell you in 2 seconds. When he was with the Mariners, big-time prospect, he kind of dictated the terms. He's like, my arm's a little niggling elbow right now. I'm good. Oh, you don't have to pitch today. That was because he's a giant prospect. Where me and some of these other numbskulls in the bullpen, it's like, just get out there and pitch if you suck you on back to AAA. That wasn't the case with Brandon Morrow. Now, it was the worst thing ever for him. He said as soon as he went to the Blue Jays, he didn't have that luxury and made him grow up quick. And you see the rest of his career, man, he just went off. He didn't do that here. Why? Because he was getting, babysat a little bit out there. He'll be the first one to tell you, man. Him and I stay in contact now, and he's told me that numerous times.
Dave likes to be babied, though. He likes a nice soft touch.
Now I do. Now that I'm in later in life, absolutely.
Well, I have a lot of friends with the Seahawks, and actually someone with the Denver Broncos. Like, we just, we parted ways with him because he just wanted to be babysat the whole time. I'm just
he just looked up my career bio and said, I'll throw in the Broncos too because I know he played.
By the way, Dave, I don't know if I've told you this. My father-in-law is a huge Broncos fan. He freaks out the fact I get to speak to you once a week. I don't know if I've ever told you that. He thinks it's awesome.
He must have a good memory. That's for sure. Hey, have you gotten a chance to talk to Rob Refsnyder? Because that was like my favorite thing yesterday when he jumped on that first pitch That was yesterday.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
First pitch.
But it was awesome. I loved seeing that, and he was kind of humble about it afterwards. And he said he didn't have an average and all that. So, but yeah, tell us a little bit about that guy, because it sounds like the fans love him.
Yeah, he what a good dude, man. What's he, 12 years in the big leagues, and he's like, what, 0 for 18? No, someone actually said, hey, man, you're 0 for 15. Because actually, I was 0 for 18.
Yeah, that's what Bob said.
Yeah. Jumping on that first pitch, fresh off the paternity list as well. Had kid number 3, who, by the way, Dave, I interviewed him post-game on the field, right? And I pulled him, a quick story. So I have to do this post-game interview if I'm down doing the dugout level stuff, right? As you guys know, and it's trickier, because you guys have done it before. It's trickier than what you think, because you're trying to rip someone away from them slapping hands. And I'm like, hey, Rob, I really want to get you, basically introduce you to Seattle, dude. You just hit a home run, Mackenzie Gore first pitch, everyone went nuts, awesome, set the tone, what have you. I pulled him aside, and I'm scrambling. I'm still like, I kind of suck at the post-game interview sometimes. Like, I don't know what I'm asking. I'm just asking the dumbest questions ever. But so I pulled him aside. I said, hey, man, how you doing, Rob? Ryan. He goes, yeah, man, I've met you. I was like, oh, that's right, I met him when you first got here. What am I doing? And then I said, hey, man, congrats on the number 3. Just him and his wife gave birth to their 3rd child. And I said, what's the name? And he said, Ryan. I was like, are you messing with me right now? And so I was all scrambling. But anyway, so back to your question. Sorry to keep making this about.
No, I did hear you mention that you thought he was messing with you when he said
I thought
Ryan.
He was messing with me. Yeah. But no, look, man, you come to a new team. Your role is, okay, you are going to platoon and play against lefties. You're a veteran. You want to be that presence in the clubhouse for younger players, right? That's always part of the job description. You take pride in that. And you can't do any of it when you're 0 for 18, straight up. Like, you can't be going in the clubhouse and mentoring some young player or speaking up in hitting meetings, because you're not getting hits. Like, that's plain and simple. And forget about the fact that you said, hey, by the way, my wife's giving birth, I've got to leave for a few days and leave the team. It's 3 days feels like 3 weeks. Away from the team. So all that, thrown in, and just a good dude, man. Like, I haven't had a real big chance I haven't had him on my show or had a chance to sit down with him or anything like that, but I love that stuff, man. When guys, rip a ball, then in the post-game, Adam Bonero, who's the mental performance coach, absolute legend. If you guys ever get a chance to talk to him off to the side, on air, off air, he does works wonders for all these players, man. We've heard that about George Kirby, obviously Logan Gilbert. He helped me out. I've got a program called Next Gen U. He was like he came up with this whole mental skills plan for these teenagers. He's epic. And Ref Snyder literally referenced him a handful of times in a 5-minute interview. So that tells you how much of their relationship has played into the last couple of weeks for Rob Ref Snyder. But sometimes it just takes that one, and then you can just say, you know what? All right, I'm all good now. I finally got that first one off my back. I'm ripping in.
Ryan, what are you seeing from Naylor and Cal at the plate? Because neither are finding it yet the way we thought they would. Naylor's got 2 extra base hits all season, and they came in the same game. Those 2 home runs. Cal's hard hit rate is way down. He looks like he's not seeing the ball. Like, he's out in front of the off speed. He's getting beat by fastballs. Yeah. Maybe chasing more out of the zone than he normally would. But what are you seeing from those guys?
So Cal, when you really dive in, I did a little dive before, because I heard you guys talking about it before I came on. I want to make sure I was looking at this the right way and not just the eye test. Couple things. Number one, they've faced a ton of lefties, and this, as a team collectively, they've struggled against lefties. You've seen all these bullpen arms come out. There's no right-handed bats on the bench, etc. So you get more of the lefties, and you're going to be collateral damage of that. So facing lefties, it's a struggle for him right now. That second, I call it the second swing. His primary swing really is from the left side. The secondary swing, I think he's struggling with. He is behind. We've talked about this a few times now. He's behind in regards to the schedule of getting ready for the season. The thing I'm seeing, though, is fastballs. I did a little deep dive into the fastball. Now, as a righty, and a lefty and a righty, the safety net for him was, I can get to that heater and I can get to that plus velocity. He simply is not getting to that plus velocity right now. When you look at numbers, when you go 95 plus in velo, it doesn't have to be, it's not 95 up where he's getting beat by a lot of landed pitches. We're talking middle of the plate. the swing and miss rate's like up 15 to 20% on both sides. So that's glaring. When you lose that safety net, all of a sudden, okay, well, he's hitting breaking balls a little bit better or whatever it may be. What happens is when you're trying to cheat on that fastball, you saw him hit that ball foul down the left field line, you start to cheat and you start to get off time. So I'm seeing that with him. He's got to get that safety net in his approach in regards to making sure you cannot beat him with the fastball, especially in fastball counts. Right now, he's getting beat by that a ton. Now, with Naylor, he's a little bit different. He's making a ton of contact, but you mentioned being off time. Everything, you feel like he's just a tick off in regards to the timing. I feel like he's jumping at the ball a little bit, and he's getting caught out in front, making a ton of contact, like I said, but just simply not the same when you're talking barreling up and where the bat's catching that ball is just catching it at that bad time through that through the strike zone, I think. So they're a little bit different. But, man, how glaring is it? I don't care if it's, 20th of April right now. It's just so glaring when you've got Cal and Josh in that lineup, right? And Julio's starting to figure some things out. But, man, it's glaring when you got those two big bats who are just scuffling a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot, actually.
Who's standing out to you in the bullpen right now? Who's kind of got the hot hand out there? Somebody that's interesting to you?
Man, I mean, where do I start, man? Now, like... And I always try after the game, give him some love, especially during the game. Whatever. But, okay, look, all right, Gabe Spire, he had a really tough month of March because WBC didn't pitch well. And while he wasn't pitching well, he wasn't having a chance to get ready for the season, similar to Cal. Comes into this year, and, okay, where's the velocity going to be? Because it kind of goes up and down at times, and he's pumping 96s, 97s, all good. Then he faces, yesterday, last 2 days I think were massive for him. He faces Corey Seager, and Corey Seager doesn't get him, but walks. 10-plus pitch at bat. When you're coming out of that bullpen, it's literally two pitches: fastball on the attack, and then trying to get him to bite on that slider. Comes in yesterday the game. He's facing Corey Seager again. I'm like, oh man, this is not a good matchup. And Seager was just swinging all day, man. He could see it from a mile away. Gets the 3-2, and just buries that slider. He backs himself, gets that chase. I think from that at bat, I think he's going to go off from there, man. I just think that your confidence gets to a place where it's like, you've seen me twice in 24 hours. You know what I'm going to throw. You're getting your best swings off, yet I'm still getting that swing and miss with 2 strikes on that second at bat. I don't know how to explain that, but it's massive. And I'm going to go back to this too, man. Now, I know Cole Wilcox did not look good on Saturday. If there's enough leash with that dude, watching him pitch, he can be a guy like a Justin Toper or Paul Sewald, one of these dudes who will be a factor when you're talking about, or Vargas last year. I still believe that Cole Wilcox will be a factor when you get to July, August, and you've got to bridge the gap. He's going to be a dude. And then, but look, I mean, but Bizzardo, dude, like, he threw that first game. He had to come out, put a fire out yesterday, then sit down and come back out again. That is so valuable, man. Like, you can look and, nerd out on paper about swing and miss and all this crap, whatever. I don't care. I love it too. Don't get me wrong. When you have a dude on day 2, when Dan Wilson walks up the bench and goes, hey, man, can you cover some ground next inning? And he's like, yep, zero hesitation. And he's got that same, the stuff is the same. I'm telling you, man, it's so much value in that.
Yeah, Bizzardo's. I loved him last year. I loved his story, working his way into a leverage guy. And you look at him this year, he's throwing more innings than anybody in that bullpen so far this year. And he's got a 0.96 ERA.
Sorry to cut you off. I just looked at the screen. I'm like, man, my hair, he's looking a little wild. Left guy, thanks.
Hey, it's a compliment. Have you seen Dodgeball?
Tony and Guy back there. Man, maybe I should go to him for my styling tips. I don't know.
Have you ever seen the movie Dodgeball, Ryan?
Of course.
Okay.
It's got to be the hair, Cotton. It's beautiful, feathered, and lethal. You just...
I love it. What a great movie, by the way. That's where White Goodman's diving and throwing people out. Good stuff. What a movie.
Don't let Lefko get in your head about your hair. He's just jealous.
Hey, listen, if we're playing pickleball, I would be White Goodman and you would be Average Joe.
Correct. You would lose at the end. Absolutely.
No, the script would be flipped.
Oh, okay.
I'd have all the gear coming in with my squad.
I don't doubt that. You would definitely have all the gear.
Purple spandex.
You guys would have a little dance coming in. Yeah, it'd be good.
You have like
that'd be sweet.
Yeah, you could pump air into the cup.
Ryan, as always, we appreciate you, my friend. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go. There's Ryan Rowland-Smith with us each and every week. If you missed any part of that conversation, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab, click on our picture. It'll be right there waiting, and you can click subscribe. It's totally free, and that way it shows up for you every single day. Meanwhile, Wyman cracked open the old Betamax to take an in-depth look at Jadarian Price. We'll dive into what he learned about him on his videotape watching. Coming up next, it's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play!
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Bellevue Rare Coins. I'm excited to be working with them again as we're seeing the price of gold at all-time highs. And here's what that means for you. Items you haven't thought about in years can be worth thousands of dollars. Old jewelry, coin collections, gold watches, necklaces, pendants. It's really worth finding out what those items are worth during such a strong market. And even broken and used jewelry can go for a lot of money. The folks at Bellevue Rare Coins had a customer stop by on her way to donating her items, and then she heard an ad on the radio. And so she said, what the heck? Let's go see what it's worth. And she walked out of Bellevue Rare Coins with thousands of dollars. And Bellevue Rare Coins has expanded to Linwood, Issaquah, and Tacoma. It's a local established business known for honesty and no pressure evaluations and helping you get the most for your valuables. And a lot of people don't realize how valuable some of these items are. It's worth stopping in to find out. So find Bellevue Rare Coins in Bellevue, of course, Linwood, Issaquah, and Tacoma, or go to BellevueRareCoins.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First. You've heard me talk about them. PCF Construction Group. People come first. And if you've been dreaming of a new deck, well, now is the time to call PCF before the good weather arrives and their schedule gets all filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor space year-round no matter the weather. And for a limited time, get 50% off demolition costs. That's up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. You know, they designed and built our outdoor living space, and we loved it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, construction, they take time. So don't wait another day. Get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First.
Want more control over your kitchen? Chef Store makes it easier to buy once and stay stocked longer. Find big value in fresh proteins, seasonal produce, freezer favorites, and more. Open to the public, no membership required. Chef Store. Get more, save bigger.
You can count on the Seattle Times for local news and information on your teams and your scores. Get inside the game and go beyond the stats with game summaries, player interviews, and play-by-play analysis every day. Read our coverage at seattletimes.com/sports.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Mariners and A's tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
That sound? Yeah, that's not a good sign. Hey, it's Drew Brees. And when your car starts making noises like that, a big repair bill might be coming right at you. But with CarShield, you don't have to fear unexpected breakdowns. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. I spent my career making tough calls, but this one is simple.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks once again to Ryan Rowland-Smith, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you just tuned in and missed that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, you pulled out the old Betamax, did you?
That's what we used to watch it on, the Betamax. You remember what was the other one, VHS?
VHS, yeah.
I remember my dad was big on Betamax. That's going to be the one that takes over.
Should have been, because it was a smaller, more compact version.
And it was better.
Yeah.
But VHS, he was wrong. The old man was wrong on that. He had lots of Betamax stuff.
Did he bet on the laser disc too?
I don't
that
think
DVD thing. No, you want a record size video component here.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
This is the size of an album. You want these laser discs are going to be the future.
Yeah, so we did watch that. I came from Stanford. We had the the reel to reel type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was in black and white. Everything. The projector, whole thing.
It was in black and white. Was it really?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, anyway, that's how old I am. Thought I would look at, I want to look at, when we come into the draft, 4 players where we have, the position groups or the positions that we lost. And that's running back, edge rusher. You got a corner, and a safety. Mm-hmm. So just look at those 4 players. It's not as super exciting. Maybe we should get more excited for the draft just because, it could be, let's say they keep all 4 of them and they find some gems there and we'll look back and go, oh, yeah, remember the draft wasn't that big of a deal to the Seahawks because they won the Super Bowl and they only had 4 picks and it was a crappy draft class or whatever. So, I mean, it could be exciting. But one of the guys I'm looking at is Jadarian Price. So, we're obviously looking for somebody that could replace K9.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I was looking at Jadarian Price. He's not K9. But you know what? K9 wasn't K9 when he came out of Michigan State. And I think he started at Wake Forest, and then he was at Michigan State. So it's going to take him, a little while to develop. But I think it was an interesting pick because Daniel Jeremiah had him at number 32, us staying at 32
right,
and selecting him. And then Chad Reuter, who we'll hear from later, right, Mike?
Yeah.
He has him at, it's kind of a spoiler alert here, but number 64. So that's our second round pick. So I just thought it was intriguing that, one guy has him at 32 and the other one at 64. I mean, that's a pretty big discrepancy there.
That's an entire round.
Yeah. So, it's that's what's going to make this, I think, this draft so interesting, and why you should tune in and listen to us, because I think there's going to be a lot of surprises, and you're going to see, what some of the good drafting teams like Philadelphia and Baltimore and, of course, the Seahawks, almost said Mariners there. But, yeah, I mean, I think that's where you kind of see, the big difference. But, so I was just looking at Jadarian Price. First of all, he's 5'10", 5'8". Does anybody care? I really don't care how tall. 203 pounds. Sometimes that matters.
He looks bigger than that.
Yeah, I know. He is. He's solid, right? And maybe he is more, but his arm length, Bob, is 30 7/8.
Oh, that's a good length.
Oh, my God. Good Lord. I guess on the stiff arm part of it, maybe he gets an advantage.
Oh, if he had another quarter inch, he'd be a first rounder for sure.
So, yeah, I mean, that part of it is stupid. But the one thing is, he had 3 kickoff returns that he took back for touchdowns, and I think he only had 22 opportunities. So, that's one thing I think could be really interesting on special teams, because you might see a lot of teams kicking away from Rashid Shaheed.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got a guy that can. You can put back there, and he's also a threat. I think that would be intriguing.
Put him in a pick your poison situation.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the other thing is, he's a Notre Dame kid, and I hate to say it, but the Notre Dame kids are just different. I mean, Julian Love, just a good dude. You can go back to like Tim Brown when I played, just a awesome football player and good person and everything. Andy Heck, same thing. They're just different guys. But if you go and look at Jadarian Price, another guy, Kyle Hamilton, there's lots of good players in the NFL from Notre Dame. But if you look at like his yardage, it doesn't really tell the story, but he was also splitting time with Jeremiah Love.
Right.
So,
he's the premier back in this year's draft.
Yeah, he's pretty much, I don't think have you seen anybody ahead of him?
No. At that position?
It's not even close.
No, it seems like they talk about him and then it's everybody else.
Right.
Kind of like it's Mendoza and everybody else.
Yeah.
At quarterback.
Right, and some of those other names are actually pretty good players. I mean, the kid Mike Washington ran for 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns at Arkansas. And then Emmett Johnson, a kid from Nebraska, ran for 1,451 and 12 touchdowns. So, yeah, I mean, there's some other good guys as far as production goes, but it just seems like it's Jeremiah Love, and then the next one you see is Jadarian Price.
Right. Well, a couple people weighing in on Jadarian Price. We had Josh Edwards of CBS Sports on with us, and he was breaking down, in his opinion, the strengths and weaknesses of Price and why the Seahawks might take him at 32.
He has relatively good size for the position. He's explosive. He can break his feet down in space and leverage defenders. He's got the burst to really make those defenders pay for breaking down in space. One of the criticisms has been he's just not really been used that much on third down, and that's because Notre Dame had one of the best third down running backs in the nation with Jeremiah Love, who, of course, is going to be the first running back taken, a potential top 5, likely top 10 overall pick. So it's hard to knock him that much. I think in the small sample size that we have seen from him, there's a little bit more that maybe you can tap into in terms of his potential. So 32 is probably a little rich for me, but if you're Seattle and, that's the path that you go down, I think it makes a lot of sense for them, just because from a value perspective, letting Kenneth Walker walk and still not necessarily downgrading at the position, I think is good value for Seattle.
So there's his breakdown. And then quickly, you brought up Daniel Jeremiah talking about him. He was on with Brock and Salk, and he talked about how far he thinks the Seahawks could wait. How long could they wait if they wanted to take him?
I mean, a player even like with him, and you have some these other teams that have a back on their team, I wouldn't want to scale back too far. I'm talking 5 to 7 spots. He's just in a draft like this particular one. I don't see there's that many more players you'd be choosing from.
So you got to be in the top 40. You got to be in the top 40.
I would not go beyond 40.
You wouldn't go beyond 40.
Yeah. So, they have a
couple spots into the second round if they wanted to trade back, get another pick or two, and still have a crack at him, presumably, and, somewhere around 38, 39, 40, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so Daniel Jeremiah has him going at 32. So the one thing I saw from him, and this is where I'm just building similarities, because it's Brian Fleury's going to come in. He's probably going to run something, that resembles our run game. One of the things that Jadarian Price has is that he can freeze people on the edges, and that's what K9 did so well, that he kind of runs. First of all, he runs inside really well. Just his mind works faster, kind of like K9. But he's able to freeze people and you kind of suck them in and then beat them to the edge. So he has that kind of burst. And, you look at his 40 time at the combine, it was like 4.49, but I think he plays faster. So he looks good. But yeah, we'll take a look at like I said, safety, edge, corner, and then of course running back here. But just because those are the 4 positions that the Seahawks lost, and it's one position that's really interesting to me too. For one reason, real quick, they paid Shaheed $17 million, and K9 got $15 million. And so just kind of setting up the difference between those two is you couldn't have spent another couple million to get K9 in here, who maybe arguably is more, just because we didn't see Shaheed get that many touches last year. But
he didn't have the impact that K9 had.
Yeah,
that's not a knock on him. That's just the reality. He was not a big piece of the receiving game,
right? Well, and it was
passing game. So
just the targets weren't really there. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they play that, and I'll be very curious to see how that breaks down. We get closer to the season. Who's going to be your starting running back?
Meanwhile, the Mariners are going to get a good look at what could be their toughest competition in the division this year. We'll get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
Holy smokes, what a play!
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Are you somebody that needs a pair of readers with you at all times? Otherwise, you can't see anything. That's where I was at. I had to have them in a store. I had to have them in a restaurant if I wanted to read labels or menus. And it was just, got tired of it, even reading text on my phone. So that's when I took action. And I went to see the professionals at K2 Vision RLE. And you add K2 Vision RLE and King LASIK together, you get freedom vision for every stage of life. LASIK and Evo ICL from King LASIK gives you freedom from glasses and contacts. And refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE adds extra freedom from readers and cataracts. And again, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made, going to K2 Vision for refractive lens exchange. And if you're like me and you are struggling with your vision, whether it's reading small print or you struggle with distance vision, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect and permanent solution. And the best part is you never develop a cataract. With over 400,000 procedures done, Doctors Kopstein and King are the 2 most experienced vision correction surgeons in America. So whether it's LASIK, Evo ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors out there with all of the data to recommend the very best procedure for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Our #1 thing with them is always like, hey, welcome someone in and assure them that they're in the right place. We're going to take care of them.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Meet the company electrifying the marine industry. ARC, a fully electric boat that feels like a luxury EV. Significantly less maintenance and service, ARC boats are easy to operate and maintain. Go to arcboats.com/demo. ARC, you have to see it to believe it.
With Popeye's new $6 faves menu, you can get this 3-piece chicken, this 3-piece tenders, this chicken sandwich, or these 2 regular sides for just $6 a piece. I know you can't see what I see, but trust me, those bold Louisiana flavors look so good, you might just have to get them all. Now there's an idea.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Terms apply.
Spring is here, Seattle, and now is the smartest time to replace your roof. Trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing, a local, family-owned company that knows how to roof in Washington weather year-round. Schedule your free estimate today at 3treeroofing.com to take advantage of spring pricing, shorter wait times, and get $500 off your new roof before the summer rush hits. Our experts come to you, build a clear plan, and give you an estimate that same day. No surprises and no high-pressure sales tactics. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Mariners and A's tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Hello, Seattle. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America, N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
The road to riches starts at Silver Reef. This April is your chance to win $100,000 in cash, plus a 26 Mercedes-Benz. Have some fun in the fast lane every Saturday night with hourly drawings from 5 to 9 p.m. Join us April 25th at 10 p.m. for the guaranteed grand prize car giveaway. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
Well, there's nothing I hate worse than being cold. And if your house is feeling a bit drafty or the floors of the main level are way too cold on your feet, that's probably because your crawl space and attic don't have enough insulation. It's probably making your furnace work overtime. So now you're spending more money as well. Well, how about a free and easy way to learn if you need better insulation? Just schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic with Crawl Pros. It's exactly what I did. They'll show up to your house. They'll go where you don't want to, certainly where I didn't want to, and they'll tell you if you got any problems with your crawl space, your attic, and especially your insulation. If they do discover your home is under or improperly insulated, they'll show you all the utility rebates as well to help you get that work done correctly and affordably. If you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could receive a rebate to cover up to 95% of the cost. Make your home more comfortable. Save on your energy bill with Crawl Pros. If you're worried that anything's going on in your crawl space or attic, critters, mold, water, plumbing issues, call Crawl Pros or go to crawlpros.com.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mariners took 2 of 3 from the Rangers over the weekend, which was huge for them. Rangers sitting atop the division. You look at this division. Ugh. Hey, the 2 teams tied for the lead are the Rangers and the A's, who are in town. They're both 500. They're both 11-11, followed by the Angels, who are 11-12, followed by the Mariners, who are 10-13, and the Astros, who have lost 4 in a row, 8 of 10, are 8-15.
Jeez.
What a division. And then just contrast that, Dave, with the Central and the National League. Every team is over 500.
Wow.
The Reds are 14-8. Cardinals are 13-8. The Pirates are 13-9. Cubs 12-9. And the last place Brewers they're tied, actually. Cubs and Brewers tied at 12-9.
That's crazy.
The whole division.
And you look at the NL West.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, in third place is the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they got 13 wins.
Yeah.
Which is like, what, third most in, as far as wins in the entire league. So, you know whose offense sucks is the Athletics. The A's, they're not great. I mean, if you look at our pitching versus their offense, it's not great. You know, their slash line, on base percentage, OPS, all in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just
which is weird because it's the opposite of what we talked about. Everybody all the experts, all the analysts looking at the team going, hey, man, the A's.
All their young guys.
Well, and the questions were about the rotation. The offense, you felt like, wow, they got Wilson and Kurtz and Butler and Reuter and all these weapons offensively, and they've scored. Well, actually, the Mariners have scored the fewest runs in the division, 90, but the A's have scored 91.
Yeah,
and so they're not putting up a ton of runs, but they're giving up many more. The Mariners have given up 84 runs. The A's have given up 110.
Yeah. I mean, and it's, like you said, they have as much talent. When you think about that team, you think about their offense and that they're good at the plate, but they're not playing well right now. So, boy, I'll tell you what, and you mentioned the Rangers. That Friday night, Saturday morning was low. And then I was like, is this how this is going to go? Getting shut out for the fourth time. And last year they were only shut out like 6 times total.
And 2 of those shutouts coming at the hands of the Rangers.
Yeah. So, I was starting to get sick to my stomach a little bit. But, I mean, the A's will come in. Yeah, they're a cute little team, right? And, they got some young guys that are going to be fun to watch and everything, but we should crush them.
You'd hope so. I think it's a reasonable expectation to take 2 of 3 from this team. You may not get all 3, but we talked about it before the homestand. 6 games. What is reasonable to expect? And it was like the minimum, and I wouldn't be happy with it, would be 3 of 6. That was based on how they looked coming out of San Diego. So you're going, all right. Yeah. I can't sit here and say, well, they're going to sweep them. They're going to take 5 of 6. I mean, based on what we just witnessed in San Diego, you're trying to be realistic, going, all right, you give me a split, and that's below what you'd normally want. That's what you shoot for if you're on the road and you're going, we got 6 road games. Our minimum is we want to split. We want to split those 6 games. You're home, that can't be the goal. But based on how they looked coming out of San Diego, it felt like, all right, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves and say they better win 4 or they better win 5. But now that they've taken 2 of 3, I still feel the same way. You better take 4. You better take 2 of 3 in this series as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to lose the series to the A's because, and it would be a split, which is reasonable. You're trying to repair from this not so great start to the season. But, there's so much improvement level available for Cal and Josh Naylor, and it's going to happen. But it's just kind of painful watching it. We were earlier in a couple segments ago looking at Cal at this point. After 25 games anyway, he had 9 home runs, and he got 2 this year. Yeah, so he's got a lot of repair to do. And I think it's going to happen, but it's just a matter of when. Yeah,
and the pace is certainly not where it was last year home run-wise. I just want to see him making hard contact. Just to see him stepping into the box with a level of certainty that he doesn't seem to have right now. He looks a bit lost up there.
Yeah.
So whether it results in 40 home runs or 30, I'm not so concerned. I just want to see him be productive. Just get back to being that guy who's the threat. And, you don't want runners on in front of him because he's going to drive them in. That just felt like a certainty last year. Whether it was a home run or not, Cal was going to make hard contact with the ball, and that hasn't been happening.
Do you think it's him, or do you think it's pitchers adjusting to what they saw?
I think it's more him at this point because he's not new. He didn't revamp his swing last year. He's always been a switch hitter. His swing has been the same. His approach is always he's not an unknown where the league went, oh, okay, now we see where the hot and cold zones are. Here's how. I'm not saying they didn't tweak how they approach him. But I think at this point in his career, he's a known entity. They know what he does. He knows the majority of these pitchers, what they do. He just looks, like you said, Ryan was talking about him swinging and missing in the zone. Like he's not handling plus velocity right now. So it's not so much that he looks like he's being fooled out there and chasing all this crazy stuff off the plate, which he is at times, but he's missing in the zone.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's repaired since we talked about Luke Arkins tweeting out that stat about how the Mariners led in a bad way, led the league in whiff rate in the strike zone. So, yeah, and that's kind of sort of what Cal's going through.
Yeah, if they're leaving that thing out over the plate, I know, they're going plus fastballs at 98. It's easier said than done, but We always talk about it. Doesn't matter how hard somebody throws. If you leave it out over the plate, a big league hitter is going to time it up, and they're going to crush it. And that hasn't been happening at the rate you'd at least think, with as often as they seem to be seeing those pitches. But meanwhile, it's always good to catch up with this guy. We're going to catch up with Matt Hasselbeck, talking about the Seahawks offseason, the draft, all of it. Stick around for Matt Hasselbeck coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Bull riding is not just a sport. It's a gamble of guts and glory. Nothing else compares. It's Cooper Tire's PBR Tacoma at Tacoma Dome this weekend. Ready to be cowboy? Get your tickets at Ticketmaster. It's bull time.
Dealing with divorce and custody issues can be terrifying and very lonely, but you don't need to face it alone. Goldberg Jones has been helping Northwest husbands and fathers for more than 30 years. Thousands of men have put their trust in us. You can too. Learn more at goldbergjones.com.
Imagine all that can happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes are going to come out, but what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price never changed for 5 years? Well, thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most. That finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats. You get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices and no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices will be working in perfect harmony, and you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, and no strings attached. So even though kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6-7, your internet's going to stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi, all with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions do apply. Select plans only.
Get down with Casey and the Sunshine Band when they take the stage at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Sunday, May 17th at 8 p.m. The iconic 70s group has toured around the world, and now they're bringing their blend of funk, disco, and R&B to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on May 17th. Get tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast.
Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
That sound? Yeah, that's not a good sign. Hey, it's Drew Brees. And when your car starts making noises like that, a big repair bill might be coming right at you. But with CarShield, you don't have to fear unexpected breakdowns. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. I spent my career making tough calls, but this one is simple.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get back to it tonight. They welcome the A's to town. Game 1 of a 3-game series coming up. Emerson Hancock will take the hill tonight in Game 1. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Brendan Donovan has been placed on the 10-day IL with a groin strain. Meanwhile, other news in the world of baseball, Dodgers closer, former M's closer, Edwin Diaz is scheduled to undergo surgery to remove loose bodies in his right elbow. This is a guy who's going to be out for around 3 months, and he's fresh off of a deal that was signed in the offseason, 3 years, $69 million with the Dodgers.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Day 1 of the draft coming up Thursday. We are going to be live at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center, taking you through each and every pick of the first round, second round, third round. We got you covered. You don't have to go anywhere. We got you covered, and we want to talk all about that and the offseason with the Seahawks, and who better to do it with a man who wore that uniform with pride. One of the greats to wear the Seahawks uniform, and he's become a friend of the program. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Matt Hasselbeck is here with us. How are you, man?
What's up, fellas? Dave, I wore this hat for you, but man, look at Bob. Look at your hat. That's cool. That's a cool hat, man.
Yeah, this is the Mariners. What was it? I think their Father's Day edition or something like that.
He's wearing a Stanford hat.
I see
sweatshirt. And sweatshirt.
Oh, and the sweatshirt too.
Yeah.
Look at him pandering to Dave Wyman.
I'm a Stanford dad now, so I'm just kind of like I feel smarter. Like, you know,
it'll wear off. Don't worry.
We got a big game. We got a big game coming up in the ACC tournament against my alma mater, BC, Boston College. So down in Charlotte. So
who do you root for in that case?
I mean, I'm rooting for my daughter, obviously.
Okay.
But you know, it feels weird, right? Just feels weird. So
that is strange. I remember you guys used to give a hard time to Isaiah Kazavinsky because it was Yale or Harvard.
Harvard and Harvard Business School, actually.
Yeah. And I used to get the same kind of crap. Well, you went to Stanford. I'm like, well, I can't do your taxes. Or I would always say, they didn't have that class at Stanford. Okay.
Well, why we gave Isaiah Kazavinsky such a hard time is he failed his Washington State driver's license test the first time because he didn't study for it. And it's like, it's not hard. It's just, quite honestly, it's kind of stupid. You know, like
it's kind of common sense stuff.
It's not common. They just prove you read it kind of questions. You know,
Right.
Maybe it's changed, but back then. So he warned me. Luckily, I did study and read the booklet and then took the test. But I probably would have failed also had I not kind of prepped for it in a sense. But yeah,
that's awesome. Well, Kaz deserved it then. You know, he deserved all the heat that he
Well,
did.
Kaz is highly successful. He started his own VC fund and he's crushing it right now. So no surprise. But we'll still give him a hard time about the driver's license test. For sure.
I love that. Hey, Matt, a lot of people have been looking at the offseason for the Seahawks. You know, they everything's ranked. So all the analysts, all the different websites, all the different talking heads ranking who's had the best offseason, who's had the worst. And the Seahawks are kind of universally thought of as ones that haven't had a good offseason. You certainly lost talent. You lost Kobe Bryant. You lost Reek Woolen and Boye Mafe, and certainly your Super Bowl MVP and K9. And they haven't brought a ton in return to occupy those spots. How do you view it? Do you look at that as severe losses, like, hey, they've got to figure out how to fill those holes, or no, you're still, even minus those guys, you're still in a good spot?
Well, when you hoist the Lombardi at the end of the season, you've had a great off season. Trust me. I mean, that's that's the goal.
Yeah.
And it's a very short off season too. But I actually think that if you were to talk to John Schneider and company during the year, like, how would you hope that this off season plays out? I think they're right where they had hoped to be. They weren't going to overpay K9. I think those other guys, they were probably okay with letting go. Like, hey, you've earned it. Or maybe you're not exactly what we're looking for as a fit in this scheme and in this locker room. And no, I think it's set up perfectly. I mean, even at the press conference today, you heard Mike McDonald talk about the running back position and kind of saying like, hey, we're good because we don't play a game for 5 months or something like that. So I think they have a plan. They're sticking to the plan. And ultimately it's kind of like, do you trust John Schneider in this kind of a situation or don't you? And I certainly do. And I think people should, but it's not a sexy off season in terms of splash, but it's pretty good in terms of bringing the people back that you really needed to bring back.
Yeah, it's interesting. You look at the roster right now, and everybody's like, "Oh, we got pilfered. We got we lost 4 guys." But you look at the guys that are still there. It's pretty good. That's an interesting exercise, I think. If you go to Seahawks.com and look at all of their starters. But what I wanted to ask you, Matt, what do you notice about John Schneider and just the way that he operates? He just has a different way. He thinks differently than other people. Is there anything that stands out to how he drafts or, how he handles like free agency and cuts and things like that?
Yeah, he's very, very comfortable up there. It was almost like he was toying with everybody. Like he's talking to the local media, but he's really speaking out to everyone in the league that's evaluating everything that he says. And he's got like a smile on his face, and you can tell he's very experienced. He trusts the team that he put together around him. He was trained up under Ron Wolf, who's the Hall of Fame GM type guy. But no, he's got complete confidence in what he's doing. And he's been doing it so long, it's hard for him to remember all the different things that he's done.
Hey, looking at the draft, and I don't know how much you delve into the, who's coming out and who's the star at this position versus that position, but it just seems overall the draft is being viewed as not great, not deep. It's not the year for superstars, which means nothing because we all know guys can develop into superstars. But what is your feeling about the Seahawks approach? Because they've got 4 picks. We're debating, all right, you got the number 32 pick, which is essentially a second-round pick. Do you trade back? Do you accumulate more? Or is this not the year to do that based on the idea that there's not a ton of talent there? Do you need more picks if the talent isn't that great?
Well, I don't think you need more picks because there's not a lot of starting opportunities available on this team. There are some, but not too many. But, it is interesting having that 32nd pick because if let's just say Ty Simpson, the Alabama quarterback, doesn't go, and then he's still available at pick 32. I think that's an opportunity for a team to want to trade up to the Seahawks so they can get a 5th-year option on a guy like Ty Simpson, a quarterback. Usually you want that 5th-year option on a quarterback. It takes longer to develop. He's only got 15 starts in his college career. Certainly that would make a ton of sense. It's kind of what Ozzie Newsome did back in the day with Lamar Jackson. He was kind of thought of at the time as this great talent. It was more of a project, and you want to get him in the first round so you get that 5th-year option on him. And it's obviously worked out really, really well. So, that is intriguing to me. I do think that running back is a position of need. I think they'll find the best running back they can find, but I don't think they need to do that in the first round. And trading back is something I could certainly see them doing.
Hey, Matt, I see that you've been 50 years old for, a couple hundred days. And we didn't really know that. But when Brock turned 50, apparently it's like supposed to be a big party or whatever. He
needs to be celebrated. It's important.
I mean, does he need more attention? I don't think so.
I did a video. I did a video for Brock.
Okay.
Molly Heward sent out a little text thing, and I did a little 50th birthday tribute. You know, a lot of my friends are turning 50 now. Like, this is the year for all of us, and kind of snuck up on us. It happened to me during the football season, so it snuck up on me for sure. But I actually went sincere with Brock on the 50th thing. Just a quick story. When I get traded to the Seahawks, they put me in a workout group with Brock. And he was like my workout partner, and we did the workout of the day. And I was like a kid on the first day of school, and he's a great workout guy. Like, he's amazing at working out. Besides the bench press, he's like really good at everything. and he put me through the hardest workout ever. Like, the workout never ended. Like, even at the end, like, all right, now we're gonna do this conditioning thing, and now we're gonna do this, and it like, he just tried to crush me, and he did crush me. But like, I didn't let him know that it was bothering me so much. But so I've always wanted to get him back. He's an elite practical joker, but I chose to go sincere on that birthday video montage.
Hey, what were some of the practical jokes? For me, it was, I remember somebody put baby powder in my pockets. You know, so I went to a restaurant. I went to pull my keys out, and poof, everywhere. What were some of the pranks that they play?
Well, you know, it's interesting that we're talking about that, because John Schneider today was asked a question about, you know, you guys seem to bring in these college football players to interview them and get to know them as people more than other teams. And I believe that's like one of the secret sauces of what the Seahawks do, is they try to see like who's a personality fit in this locker room. And I think just practical joke and somebody keeping it lighthearted is certainly a thing that successful teams have. You know, I know, and we had it in Green Bay. I know we had it in Seattle when I was there. Like, you know, like whether it's Robbie Tobeck or whoever it might be, right? And the practical joke that sticks out to me the most, I'm still a little bit angry about it and mad at myself. In the game down in Dallas, when Trent Dilfer tore his Achilles, and Emmitt Smith broke the rushing record that day, I think, and I have to go in. I kind of had a little bit of a bad attitude that I was like sort of the backup quarterback at the time. Not like a terrible attitude, but like it wasn't like full of joy at the time. And we're playing inside. It's Dallas. It's not going to rain. So I just bring one pair of cleats. I don't pack like a whole bag. I didn't want to like pack 4 pairs of cleats. Like, there's no reason. I'm wearing one pair of cleats. I might not even play in this game. Well, the day before, I don't know who, probably Dilfer or one of those guys, put shaving cream in my cleats for like the walkthrough or whatever. And like it ruined the cleats. Like, and like no one like fessed up to it or whatever. But now I'm like slipping around in my cleats in like the game that I got to go in, when Dilfer tears his Achilles, and I ended up finishing the game and then ended up being the starter the rest of the season and really the rest of my career. But like, I'm literally in cleats that I'm like, you know, have like wiped out shaving cream. It was like the worst thing ever. So I do think like there's great practical jokes, and then there's some that kind of like toe the line. And that's one for me that I'm just like, bro, there's got to be some things that are sacred, you know, like take out a billboard or something and give my phone number up before you do something like that. But I'm still a little bit bothered by that with that one.
Yeah. Lucky you didn't tear your Achilles sliding around in those cleats like that.
Yeah. I actually think I probably played a little less reckless, because I was like, all right, just let's find Max Strong, find the tight end, find Sean Alexander, you know, like a little bit of that. I needed that at the time.
Hey, looking at the guys that left in free agency, was there a guy you looked at in particular and said, man, if they could have held on to him, I'd have felt better about it? I mean, we know K9 was the Super Bowl MVP, but I think people feel good about replacing running backs, whether that's fair or not. Kobe Bryant was my guy. I was like, I really like what he brings to the table. I was really hoping they'd be able to hang on to him. They weren't able to. But of all those guys, Mafe, Derek Young, Reek Woolen, all those, everybody that left, anybody that stand out to you?
Well, I think Kobe is a great, you know, he's a playmaker. You know, that'd probably be the guy that I feel. But like, you know, kind of flipping your question a little bit, I think with Reek Woolen, I never really thought he was going to be back. And I remember you guys actually asked me the question. Like, I just never really felt like it was the right fit. And it's funny because nationally, I think that's the guy everyone would say, like, oh man, now the Eagles are a contender. Like now like that guy, like, look at his measurables, look at his potential, look at his, all this, you know, all the stuff and how they let him go. But it doesn't really surprise me all the way, because again, I just think that there's something about the identity and DNA of like what your team is all about, and whether that's coachability or, you know, what it's like in the locker room, or like, and it's not like, I'm not trying to like throw shade at him at all, but like sometimes it's just not the perfect fit, you know, whether it's grit or whether it's, you know, like whatever it is, like sometimes it's just like, you know what, wish you luck, but like you're probably not, you're not getting a second contract here kind of vibe. And that can happen. And I think it takes confidence as a coach to feel like, hey, we can draft somebody and we can develop someone who's younger and, you know, have more time with them and do it at a lesser cost to get the result we're looking for.
Well, he only signed a 1-year deal with Philly. It's a prove-it deal.
Yeah,
so it's not like, you know, teams were breaking down his door to get him. I think there's questions around the league as to what kind of player he may be.
Yeah, and that goes back to like maybe like the coachability, humility, you know, like you need to do it our way. Like you're not seeing this the way that we're seeing this. You know, you're not hearing us in our coaching here. You're not hearing us in our evaluation here. And so, hey, like same thing, like wish you well, see how it goes. You know, who knows? Maybe you figure it out and you could come back someday.
Hey, Matt, one of the things, you know, I typically, and John Schneider has earned this, I don't typically criticize or say, hey, I would have done this, or this is not a great move or whatever. But the one thing I just in the back of my mind has been they paid Rashid Shaheed $17 million, and then, you know, K9 gets 15. And so, you know, I mean, there's a lot of touches there with K9, and there just isn't. Do you think that means that Shaheed is probably going to get a lot more, you know, targets and more involved in the offense? That's the one thing where I'm like, you could have spent another couple $1 million a year. That doesn't seem like a lot to get the Super Bowl MVP back. But I don't know. I don't think scouts really value the running back position the way that the rest of the world does. You know, I think that they think that's an easier position to fill. I also think that there's styles within running back. I mean, again, great year by our running backs last year, great year, but there was very few plays where the running backs were targeted as the first option. Very, very few. They were there for checkdowns and they were there for screens. And, you know, quite honestly, you know, they led the team in drops some games. You know, it wasn't a strength necessarily. You know, so I think that there's room for improvement there. And I don't think you need to break the bank. I think they'd probably rather break the bank in other ways than running back. And I know running backs probably don't want to hear that, but that's just how people think. It's the reality of the NFL. Yeah.
It really is. And I think fantasy football skews it because, you know, it's all about the running back. But I think for most scouts, it's all about the people up front. And then, you know, with Rashid Shaheed, he's obviously a great returner. That's a huge part of the Seahawks do value special teams. And they also traded for him. And then, you know, so I do think that that's a little bit of a thing as well, because I don't think that Sam and Rashid Shaheed were really all the way on the same page. And so I think they're just scratching the surface of what they could hopefully be in the future.
Hey, what was your take when it's all said and done? And obviously it was good enough to win a Super Bowl, but the O-line. O-line has always been a popular area to complain about. And this guy's good, but this guy isn't. They got to fix this guard spot. This guard spot's been fixed with Zabel.
Matt doesn't know anything about that, though. He had Walter Jones and Steve Hutchinson. But
he had a nice left side of that. He had a nice line in general, yeah. But what did you think? Is Bradford a guy you still look at and go, yeah, they could do better? Or the center spot, can they do better than Sundell? Or those two spots you think they should look to improve upon? Or you feel like these five are going to be just fine?
I thought Sundell was great. I think it's a scheme fit too. I think in terms of right guard, I think it's not that he's not a great player, good player. It's just about scheme fit. As a zone team, you want to be maybe a little bit more athletic and light on your feet, and it's not about like pulling all the time and stuff like that. And you know, I think there's some tendencies with which way the Seahawks would want to go, running right or left, or if a guy's way deep in his stance, you can tell that he's pulling. Now, I thought what Clint Kubiak and company did a great job of is, you know, let's just assume the right guard's pulling. Like you can kind of tell pre-snap if he's pulling, but they would marry that to play actions when he was pulling, and now we gotcha. And now they were really fantastic at it. Like, okay, you can tell it's coming, great, but you really can't tell that it's coming. And then they work the RPO game, and then, it just all fits so nicely. So clearly it worked. And, they had a great offense, and, the NFC Championship game was amazing. The Super Bowl, they kind of did what they wanted to do, what they set out to do, I would say. But when you hear, John Schneider and Mike McDonald talk in their press conference today, what they clearly are looking for is they're looking for competitive situations for the roster cut down time, or even who the starter is going to be. So I think they're looking to bring in competitive situations where people are going to have to earn it, even though they're already, say, maybe the starter. So I don't know, that's if that answered your question. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be totally shocked to see maybe like a little bit of an opportunity for people to crack the lineup.
There were some fun videos that came out of that, though. Anthony Bradford. I mean, yeah, there was like 5 or 6 plays a game where, yeah, it was almost comical. Hey, Matt, does the draft that day mean anything to you? You were drafted in the 6th round by the Green Bay Packers, and then you get traded and everything. But did you know Sarah at that point when you got drafted? Or because my whole thing is the Seahawks taking me in the 2nd round. My wife I met here, all my friends, this path that I'm on. Is that kind of resonate a little bit with you?
My draft story is amazing, and I rarely tell it. It wasn't the first day of the draft. It was back then. There were only 2 days of the draft, and I was pick 187. So every year I kind of check to see who pick 187 is. Usually it's no one that you ever hear from again, so but I mean, I was not expecting to get drafted. I was just hanging out, playing basketball in my driveway with my friends. Yes, I was dating my wife at the time. She was the better athlete in the relationship at the time, more accomplished. But I just remember I started getting the phone calls during the draft, and it was coaches saying like, hey, Sean Payton called me as an example. He was the quarterback coach for the Eagles. And he's like, hey man, I'm a huge fan. He came up to have lunch with me during the draft process. He's like, I'm a huge fan, but I don't have enough juice here in Philly. I would love to draft you in the 7th round, but we're not going to pick a quarterback in the 7th round. So I just want you to know I really like you. And he started recruiting me to sign there as a free agent when I didn't get drafted, because he's like, you're not going to get drafted. I'm the only guy who would draft you. I'm the guy who likes you, blah, blah, blah. While on the phone with Sean Payton, I get call waiting, if you remember that. Yep. I click over, and it's Andy Reid, the quarterback coach of the Packers, and they draft me. Literally like 3 years ago, I run into Sean Payton, and he kind of like pushes me, and he's like, in all my years of coaching, you're the only person that's ever hung up on me. And I'm like, when did I hang up on you? And he's like, he told me the story. I'm like, oh shoot. Like I forgot to click back to Sean Payton on call waiting. I was so excited and so surprised that the Packers drafted me that I was like, I mean, my mind just went blank. Like I remember nothing. Like it was just crazy. So it was unintentional, but I remember at the time feeling like, oh man, Ron Wolf, Mike Holmgren, Andy Reid, these guys are idiots. They don't know how to evaluate a quarterback because they didn't have to draft me. No one was going to draft me. Like took me in the 6th round. You guys are foolish. So thankfully I was wrong and they were right.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you were going to take offense to Sean Payton telling you nobody's going to draft you. I'm the only one that will. You're not getting.
No, I was like, yeah, you're right, coach. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're the only person that's even called me, That
would have been a better.
That actually isn't completely true. I did take a couple of similar phone calls before that. But it was all the same stuff. Like, hey, you're not going to get drafted, and just remember us when you're an undrafted free agent.
It's a lot of positive reinforcement. Nobody's going to take you. So when you're all out there alone without a team, remember us.
You know what? I'm so glad for it though, because it made the moment when they drafted me that much better. Yeah. Kind of like a surprise birthday party when you think like all your friends forgot your 50th birthday. Like no one said a word all day. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm 50. And then you come home at night or whatever and like, surprise, it's like, it adds to the drama. Then you're like, oh man.
Did you get a big party, by the way? Was it a big 50th?
It was not really. We did go to Chicago. It was kind of one of those 2 birds, 1 stone. We went to watch my son and UCLA lose to Northwestern that day. So It was still fun. We had a good time.
It's like 40 is, where you celebrate, but then like 50, and then especially when you get to 60.
I was still playing when I was 40. I mean, I had practice when I was 40. I was starting. I think I started nine games for the Colts that year because Andrew Luck was injured. So I never got a 40th party. In fact, I was embarrassed to tell everyone that I was 40.
Yeah, that's right. You keep it quiet
in a locker room.
Luckily, Adam Vinatieri was my teammate, so I wasn't the oldest guy on the team.
Yeah, there you go. Matt, we always appreciate you, man. Awesome stuff. Thanks so much, as always, for cutting out time for us.
Yeah, anytime. It's not the most exciting Seahawks draft, picking 32, but it's a good place to be.
We'll see what they do. Thanks again,
Thanks,
man.
Matt.
All right, see you guys.
There you go. Matt Hasselbeck, former Seahawks quarterback, just a good dude, and always fun to talk football with him. If you guys didn't catch all of that, you tuned in the middle of it, you'll be able to find that conversation on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, the Seahawks are a well-oiled machine when it comes to their draft process, but there's one thing that could potentially disrupt that process. We'll get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Hello, Seattle. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Are you somebody that's been dealing with pain or an injury you've been managing and you think, man, I got to get surgery? That's the only solution here. Before you do that, go see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. That's what I did. I had a hip issue that was lingering for years. It was getting worse no matter what I did. Physical therapy, steroid injections. I thought, I'm at the end of the road. It's time for surgery. And then I remembered all the testimonials I heard about Dr. Mark Wagner, Dave Wyman talking about it. So I went to go see him, and he said, look, I can help you. You got a lot going on in there. It doesn't fix every last thing, but it will go a long way into helping you. And he completely undersold it because it's a non-concern now. I'm back to doing everything I was doing prior to the injury. And I'd heard so many patients rave about the results from their 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure with Dr. Wagner, who is the most experienced in the Northwest. He's a board-certified physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, and he only uses your own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in your own joints. So again, people who have severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, get back to doing what they enjoy doing without pain and, more importantly, without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, maybe it's a knee, a shoulder, elbow, whatever it is, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
This is Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. As a family law attorney, I know firsthand the challenges and obstacles men face in divorce and custody matters. Our firm is committed to protecting what matters most, and we're on your team. Find us at goldbergjones.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Spring is here, Seattle, and now is the smartest time to replace your roof. Trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing, a local, family-owned company that knows how to roof in Washington weather year-round. Schedule your free estimate today at 3treeroofing.com to take advantage of spring pricing, shorter wait times, and get $500 off your new roof before the summer rush hits. Our experts come to you, build a clear plan, and give you an estimate that same day. No surprises and no high-pressure sales tactics. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Opened in 1933, our family is still here, doing the right thing for your family.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Mariners and A's tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
The NBA playoffs are right around the corner, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. And as odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code PASS to get $10 when you trade $10. Kalshi. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I spoke with Dr. Meyer, the medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, and Dr. Meyer said Swedish CyberKnife patients are really satisfied with their experience. They report very few side effects, and they're seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later. To learn more, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate or call 206-320-7187.
CyberKnife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Talking to Lefko during the break there, he's very excited about the Stanley Cup playoffs here, except for Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. He couldn't give a rip.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't know what the hate is for these teams. You were talking about how you were just in there telling me how you love watching all the other series beyond your favorite Tampa Bay Lightning. You were really excited about the other. And I go, there's a game on right now. And he goes, who is it? I told him who it was. He goes, I don't care.
Yeah. Those are two of the lesser good teams in the East.
The lesser good teams.
I mean, they're good. They're in the playoffs.
The Tampa Bay Lightning and 8, 9, 10. Is that the 11th team that you follow?
The Lightning?
Yeah,
sure.
Of his favorite teams?
Yeah. Only 11 now. It used to be 20.
I think
let's be reasonable.
I think of all your favorite teams, they're your favorite team, right? Or is it?
No, they're the only team that's given me joy at any point in my life.
Yeah, well, you are wearing a Titans shirt.
Titans
today,
are number one. Or what's your favorite team of all your favorite teams?
They are number one.
The Titans?
Yeah.
Probably the team you're most critical of too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hear nothing but negativity whenever we talk about the Titans.
Have you seen anything positive out of them?
I don't know. I guess I would try to find a few sunbeams here and there, but not you. That's for sure.
You hold no hope for the upcoming season. Are you excited about their draft? Where are they? What
Fourth.
Pick? The 4th overall pick, huh? Top 5 pick?
There we go.
Come on. We know it's not good to get excited if you're picking this high in the draft.
They have their quarterback, so what are they going to do?
Hopefully running back, if Jeremiah Love is there.
4th overall.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of mocks have Tennessee taken.
They're still struggling with letting Derrick Henry go.
Well, Matt actually he nailed
and
it.
A.J. Brown and every good player.
Yeah,
that hurts, Bob. Ouch.
A.J. Brown's about to get traded again. All the reports are he's going to be traded to the
Because guess who
Patriots
never wanted to get
after
rid of
June
him?
1.
Mike Vrabel. Never wanted to get rid of him. That was the beginning of the end.
Well, that's amazing. He's got multiple stops for being such a brilliant teammate, as some have told me.
Yeah, no, he sounds great.
Yeah.
He really does. But, Matt kind of summed it up about the running backs. Like, yeah, I think a lot of people think it was foolish to, draft a running back in the top 5. And it just, I don't know.
Seahawks got ripped for taking one in the second round.
Yeah.
2 years in a row.
Yeah. But, I think how it's valued is that it's just like, they're just a piece in this offense. It's more about the guys up front, as Matt said. So, it's maybe this Jadarian Price kid will be there not only at 32, but maybe at 64 too.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I hope it turns out the way that the who was it, GM of the Chiefs was saying he thinks it's going to be a wild draft. That there's going to be a lot of trades going on.
Yeah.
I hope it's that. That'll make it fun, even if it doesn't involve the Seahawks, just to see, all right, Tennessee Titans with a fourth overall pick have traded out. Now they're picking 18th, and they've now this team's moved up, and just seeing that kind of activity would be a lot of fun. That would certainly make a draft that we've talked about being a little bit light on excitement or anticipation.
Yeah,
could make it pretty fun.
I was looking at so it was 2013, right, where we went to the playoffs, or I'm sorry, the Super Bowl and won 2013.
Yeah.
So the next year was Paul Richardson. They had a lot of picks. Looks like 9 picks, but the draft was Paul Richardson, Justin Britt, Cassius Marsh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Kevin Norwood.
Yeah, he was a fourth-round receiver.
Yeah.
Out of Alabama.
Yep. Exactly right. Why do you remember that? Because it
didn't work.
Yeah, well, and there was like almost every year there was a 4th-round draft choice that they ended up cutting.
And receivers mostly, too.
Right. So, yeah, but the next year that was that's who they were picking there.
Did anybody stick? Who was the best player there? Britt, ultimately?
Yeah, Britt, who was an alternate to the Pro Bowl.
Ended up being your center.
He played 99 games. Cassius Marsh.
Yeah.
Kevin Pierre-Louis, linebacker.
KPL.
Remember
him?
Remember him? Yeah. So, but Cassius Marsh was probably the most memorable out of all of those guys, but probably the best player was Justin Britt.
Yeah. Well, Mike McDonald was out there today for the pre-draft press conference and taking questions, and he was asked if now going into year 3, if he's taken on more of a I don't know, a vocal role, I guess. Does he have more say in the draft process? Here's what he had to say.
Probably less.
Why?
Just like I said, my job's not to come in with a hand. My job is to work with the people throughout the process. So, and we got a lot of really smart people that are really good evaluators, and so why not hear them out, and then we can kind of work what's best for us as like each situation starts to unfold.
I don't know if I'm more encouraged that he's just got that much almost blind faith in his support staff, the evaluators and all that, or that I'm surprised that he's not more vocal, going, okay, now I'm really comfortable in my system. I know the players that I know the kind of player I need at this spot. And I know the kind of player I want at this spot, to where he'd be like more vocal. If somebody's, one of the scouts is saying, hey, you need a running back. What do you think of these 3 guys?
Yeah.
And he's the one going, no, he doesn't. What I want is a guy that does this. Like, I feel like he'd be more vocal, because he's just that much more dialed in and entrenched in what works and what doesn't with his system.
Well, I'll bet you that he's more vocal and opinionated when it comes to defensive players, probably. But the other thing, if you look at the other side of it, is like being that good of a defensive coordinator, what hurts you,
right?
And so, what kind of player do I not like playing against? And so, yeah, I mean, it could go either way there, but I'm relieved that he feels that way.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of faith in when they being him and John Schneider.
Yeah,
all they do is sort of defer to everybody else around them. I mean, John is the king of doing that, and it shows that the culture they built there, the people they brought in, and the amount of trust they have in those individuals' expertise to evaluate talent and say, yep, you want an edge rusher, this is these are the three guys we think. Any of these three guys are going to fit exactly what you want, or you want a linebacker, whatever, just down the list.
That happened with Tyrese Knight, actually, the year that he was drafted, that John was like, okay, here are three linebackers, and we have them evaluated all the same. Which one do you like? And Mike, he gave Mike the pick there.
Do you have any fear that the new owner, whoever it ends up being, is going to be meddlesome? Or they're going to fancy themselves a football mind and want to be involved in the draft process to a point where, like a Jerry Jones.
I think everybody has that, just because of the past, and
because we've had it so good here with the owners.
I know, but you know what, Andrew Brandt, who I know you're going to play the clip here, I thought this kind of changed my mind. He sort of made me think a little bit differently about it.
Yeah, he was asked how a new owner could impact John Schneider.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's some kind of meddling owner, we're sort of past those days. I think the money is so big. Someone is going to get involved that just has so much in their portfolio to spend this kind of money. I don't think they're going to be meddling. I think he's going to continue to have extraordinary power and use it, and of course has the resume to prove it.
That's what you hope for there,
and that's what you would hope, right? Somebody who comes in and buys his team fresh off of a Super Bowl win. Again, you're not trying to fix something. It's like talking about the offensive coordinator. You're not trying to fix something. It wasn't broken last year. This is a very good offense, top 5 scoring. So same is true with the franchise. Like there's nothing to be fixed here. This is not a broken product. This is a well-oiled machine right now. Don't touch.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the thing you look at, like the formerly Redskin, the Commander franchise.
Daniel Snyder.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of a mess, so he was going to try to bring everything back. But yeah, I mean I thought it was interesting just because I feel like, number one, John Schneider is the executive of the year, and and that, when did he get that award? I want to say it was like was it at the end of the season, or was it after, or was it somewhere during the playoffs? But
I don't remember the timing.
I can't remember the timing on it, but you come in here, I mean, you'd look pretty foolish. I don't care how many billions of dollars you have. If you come in here and say, "Oh, we're going to revamp this, and I'm going to be in the draft room and telling John Schneider what to do," I mean, I think that. Well, first of all, Andrew Brandt believes that doesn't really happen anymore, and I don't know if that's the case or not. But I would think that it would be really ridiculous for you to come in and question John Schneider's process right now.
I think it would be too, but the ego that exists with somebody that's got that kind of financial wherewithal, and they've built it up. They think, I know more.
And they think, oh, this is just a game.
Yeah.
I deal with real business, and this is just a few pawns that we just move around.
Yeah.
The
Let's hope
board
that's
here.
not the case.
I don't think so, and I think that's where probably Schneider right now has more respect than anybody in the NFL.
Speaking of Schneider, he outlined one major goal they have for the draft. You're going to hear that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
4 Down Territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
What concerns you when it comes to the 30-second pick?
A lot of us talk about the 30-second pick like Price is just going to be there. Like, he's there, let's take him. I went on NFL.com. Nick Shook wrote an article about teams' needs. There are 2 teams that he thinks before the Seahawks need a running back. And if they go that route, then Price isn't going to be there. How are these guys going to pivot? Those 2 teams are the Jags and the Broncos.
Catch every 4 Down Territory on the Seattle Sports app.
It's funny how you get used to things in not ideal condition around the house. For some, it's a messy garage or maybe a leaning fence. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal, and we used to get kind of actually used to it. The cold drafts, the outside noises, and condensation. If you're in that same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to old dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. And right now they have the spring cleaning sale going on to complete your home makeover. Buy 10 windows and choose from either 20% off your entire project or get a free door. And on top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade. They're manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest, and they're exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Also, they're great people, and I've really enjoyed working with them. So give them a call, 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com and schedule your free consultation and get a bid from Harley. That's harleyexteriors.com.
Harry Douglas here. Let me ask you something. What if you can enjoy the taste of a cocktail, the warmth of a spirit, and still stay fully in control? That's RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category. RK delivers bold flavor and a real warming sensation with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and 0 calories. Perfect for nights out, social gatherings, or anytime you want the experience of a drink without sacrificing tomorrow. Check it out at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, all the flavor, none of the alcohol.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Breaking news for your home. Wayday. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home. Like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Wayday long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Wayday. Shop Wayfair's Wayday from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify a key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
Mariners and A's tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Hello, Seattle. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America and a member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
With Popeye's new $6 faves menu, you can get this 3-piece chicken, this 3-piece tenders, this chicken sandwich, or these 2 regular sides for just $6 a piece. I know you can't see what I see, but trust me, those bold Louisiana flavors look so good, you might just have to get them all. Now there's an idea.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Terms apply.
Hey, homeowners, are you stuck on the credit card treadmill and stressed because your consumer debt and monthly payments are too high? Well, Brock Hewitt here with a smart solution. Your home's equity in the Seattle Metro is probably larger than ever. It's like you're sitting on a stack of cash. Consider a cash-out refinance with Tila Mortgage to consolidate your high-balance credit cards, second mortgages, home equity lines of credit, and student loans, or get cash for a remodel. With interest rates finally coming down, consolidating your debt now may be the best decision you ever make. With excellent client reviews and trusted in Washington for over 25 years, Tila has competitive rates on refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgages too. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call Tila Mortgage today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the Dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Yeah, Seahawks President of Football Operations, John Schneider, and Mike McDonald did speak today to kind of lay out their strategy for the draft. Now, maybe this is gamesmanship, or maybe he will actually tell you guys who they're going to pick on Thursday when we talk to him again. But here's John Schneider saying, yeah, you know what? We do want to move back a little bit.
I mean, it's no secret with us, guys. I mean, we have 4 picks, so we'll be looking to move back.
Wow. That's probably the most I've heard from him ever, but maybe he's deking us. He told us at one point during his show, maybe it was last year or 2 years ago, that he doesn't spend a lot of energy trying to send people on a wild goose chase.
Misdirection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised he'd say that. So just bluntly, we're looking to trade back.
You think he's trying to pull a fast one on you, Bob?
I don't know.
He's up to no good.
I think he likes that we don't know. I think most people are probably going, all right, is he being genuine? Or is he trying to, it's a little misdirection here.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, supposedly it's not a great draft and all that we keep talking about. If they pick somebody at all there, I think it's going to be very interesting to watch that player because, he pretty much has, because there's been times where they've had low picks because they've been so good, where, there was some stories of interference as far as who they were taking, that John didn't really get his guy.
Right. That
kind of stuff.
What would be the bigger upset? They make a pick at 32, or they trade up, not significantly, but say they trade up to 19.
Oh, trade up would definitely be the bigger. Because he may not think that it's supposedly a down year, and there's times where he's said, hey, there's only like 12 or 15 first-round grade guys in the first round.
Yeah. We'll have to ask him how many he's got graded first round this year. I wonder if he'll tell. He would probably tell us. He's not naming names, but he might think, yeah, we think this year we got 10 legit first-round grades.
Yeah, I think he'd still like to keep that a secret because, maybe for trade value or whatever.
Sweeping the Dial.
Thank you for that. Well, Rob Refsnyder, we know he got his first hit. It was also a home run yesterday, but after that tough start to the year, he was very candid after the game and talking about dealing with that slump.
Yeah, super frustrating, honestly. Feel like thankful for my teammates, trying to help me through. I don't think you ever want to slump, especially early in the year. New team, new city. So it's definitely been hard on myself, but I've had a lot of help. Our mental coach, Byrne, has helped me. I kind of alluded to that on the field, but I think the frustrating part is that bats have felt decent. Looking behind the numbers, I'm not chasing, swinging at the right pitches, just results-wise, not there. So, especially as a platoon guy, it kind of stinks when you're not getting results because you have a couple of days to sit on it too. But I think the most frustrating thing is that we feel like we're playing decent baseball, but just the results as a whole haven't been exactly where we want to be.
Yeah, he was really candid and, self-deprecating in that whole setting. And
you standing there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and he just seemed like, he also told the story about that some of the fans were encouraging him?
Yeah. He was talking about how that really was helpful, and he'd heard about the fans from some of the other players.
I love Mariner fans.
When he got here, and that was a selling point, and that, he was talking about how he's kind of bonded with Donovan because they're the two new guys, and they've kind of bonded, but he's got company in his struggles. It's not like he was the only one struggling. The only thing is he didn't have the next day to correct it, because you just said there, as a platoon player, you play one game, then you got a couple days before you're back in there again, so you're kind of sitting on your failures for more time than the next guy would.
Yeah. Love Mariner fans for that. I love that people are, because like you said earlier, Ben, can you imagine in Philly, or how about the Mets right now?
Losers of 11 in a row. And
God.
Yeah.
sweeping the dial.
I don't really know what to make of this. I'd have to say maybe Browns GM Andrew Berry is in on the joke, or who knows. It's, again, misdirection. But despite drafting 2 quarterbacks last year and having at least, 5 to 7 on the roster? Now, I think they have 4 on the roster. But you have that albatross of a contract of Deshaun Watson. You did draft 2 quarterbacks last year. He says they haven't ruled out drafting Ty Simpson this year.
I think it's possible that we could... quite frankly, it's possible that we could add to any position. That's really the truth. And I wouldn't disqualify a quarterback either. We've enjoyed the time that we spent with Ty. Son of a coach, really smart, very driven. He's physically talented. He has a very unique college journey. If we add a quarterback, we have a lot of love for the quarterbacks that are in the room. That's probably the first thing. So that decision would be made independently of anything that we add to the room.
I hope they take a quarterback. I would love for them to take a quarterback. I don't know why, just to create chaos in there, because they were talking about how they still think Deshaun Watson could be their guy. Could be the starter this year. And Shedeur Sanders, who was technically a Pro Bowler last year, despite his 7-touchdown, 10-pick season, is in there. And Dylan Gabriel. And really, you're going to spend more draft capital on a quarterback? I would love it. Please do that.
Yeah. Oh, man. Luckily, oh, no, he's in New York. Never mind.
Who's that?
So Bill Musgrave's a guy I played with, and he's a coach now. And so, poor guy. He went from Cleveland as the senior offensive assistant and then quarterbacks coach to the New York Jets as quarterback coach. So it's been nothing but misery for my guy, Bill Musgrave. But yeah, can you imagine? What do you say? There's 4?
No, they only have 3.
They only have 3.
But it's funny, they did draft 2 last year. So they have Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just...
I hope they do.
Well, and that was one of the teams that, remember, we were looking at, and they've had like
a million starters,
like 20 different starters in the last
they screw it up all
18
the time.
years or something like that.
Yeah. Who was their last franchise quarterback? Was it Bernie Kosar?
Bernie Kosar, yeah. Was Testaverde there?
I think he might have been there for a hot second. I think he played for everybody except for the Seahawks, didn't he? But they've just never, they haven't had the guy, I think, since Kosar.
Yeah.
But they've spent a lot of draft capital on trying to find the guy. Meanwhile, we are just days away from the NFL draft, and we'll get Chad Reuter of NFL Media to dive into some potential scenarios for this Seahawks team. He's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Hey,
If stocking your fridge, freezer, and pantry all in one trip sounds appealing, then Chef Store is the place for you. From fresh meat and produce to everyday essentials and frozen faves, get more for less at Chef Store. Open to the public, no membership required. Visit today.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I can see clearly now. It's amazing. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for Refractive Lens Exchange, or RLE. Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. So if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the capper. You're never going to develop a cataract. I'm somebody that needed readers in every room of the house. I needed to see the scoreboard out at ball games. I just couldn't see clearly. That has all changed thanks to RLE. Whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to point you in the right direction. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
I need a little range, step to the range, come on, meet me at the
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club Sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
The Puyallup RV Show returns April 30th through May 3rd and through April 29th. Buy a ticket online, get another free. Kids and parking, always free. Heck, you can bring the whole family for the price of one ticket. Go to PuyalluprVShow.com. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners looking to dominate another division rival, the A's, in town for a 3-game series. Game 1 happening tonight. They're going to send Emerson Hancock to the Hill. In Game 1, you can catch it all starting at 5:30 right here with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch, Seattle Sports on 710. One other note in the world of baseball, the Dodgers have placed Edwin Diaz, former closer of your Seattle Mariners, and a guy that they just signed in the offseason to a 3-year, $69 million deal. He's been placed on the IL. He's scheduled to undergo surgery to remove loose bodies in his right elbow.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
The draft is right around the corner, Dave. You're going to be out at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center talking Seahawks pick at 32, or maybe not. Maybe they'll trade up. Maybe they'll trade out. A guy who knows about this stuff, does it for a living. He's a draft analyst for NFL Network and NFL.com. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Chad Reuter is here with us. Chad, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. It's almost time. We're almost there.
I know. It's the buildup is always fun, and the speculation and who's rising, who's falling in the draft. But before we get into specific players, I want to get your take on this. I'm interested to get the national voices on this because it feels like, Chad, that every analyst out there, everybody that's doing mock drafts and looking at this, they're all saying it's not a great draft. It's not a great draft. There's not a lot of stars in this draft, and ultimately, we'll see how it plays out. But is that your feeling about this as well? Do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy to be down on the draft because there's not a lot of quarterbacks. Probably won't be a top 10 receiver, maybe one. I don't think there's any physically dominating receiver, certainly. And so there's a lot of really good talent at positions that necessarily aren't considered premium positions. You've got maybe 3 safeties taken in the first round. You've got off-ball linebackers that are going to be making plays at the next level. A lot of depth at tight end and the interior offensive line. And you do have edge rushers, which I think some of them will be picked day 2, but an early day 3, but they'll make an impact. So there are things to watch, but without a lot of quarterbacks or with only a couple of receivers really at the top, or a couple of other skill position players kind of at the top of the draft, it's not going to be too exciting.
Hey, Chad, a position that's been talked about a lot here in Seattle, running back, because your Super Bowl MVP, K9, goes to the Chiefs. There's been a lot of talk about Jadarian Price, and that maybe, people are saying maybe he won't be there in the first round. You have him at 64, and the Seahawks taking him there, which I think a lot of people here in Seattle would be very comfortable with that. But what about the running back market? Does it drop off after Price, or do you think that there's some talent there?
Well, I think Price could go earlier. I don't project trades in the second round or third round or whatever in these mock drafts because that just is too much. We're going a little too far. So right. I have a feeling that if Price were to fall out of the top 50, somebody would probably move up for him. That'd be my guess. But I think he'll go somewhere around 50 to 55, and then Seattle could also look at Mike Washington, the Arkansas running back, in the late second round too. So I think, but really, to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to use a second or third round pick on a running back in most drafts because I think you can get really similar players on day 3, and you can address other positions, especially for a team like Seattle that right now doesn't have a lot of draft picks. So if they don't end up moving down in rounds 1 or 2, they're only going to have 3 picks at near the top of the draft, and you want to hit the positions that you really need.
Is there, in the Seahawks trading up feels like probably the least likely thing. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll surprise us. But is there somebody you look at that you say this guy is a fit for them if they want to get aggressive and if they want to trade up? This is who they should do that for.
If John Schneider moves up in the first round, I will be absolutely shocked. He just doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. And he really stopped trading down in the first round too the last few years, and kind of took the best guy on the board. And he's changed his practices over time. Those who pay attention to these things have noticed, and he's talked about it publicly too. He's changed the way he's done business, and it's worked out for him pretty nicely. I don't really see a player that's worthy of giving up the little bit of draft capital they have, and you certainly don't want to give up next year's picks. So next year's draft is probably going to be stronger than this one. So my guess is that the answer is no. Maybe a cornerback like Chris Johnson from San Diego State, Colton Hood out of Tennessee. If those guys come into play, maybe he moves up for that, but I really don't think so.
Hey, Chad, he was John Schneider was Executive of the Year. Who are some other good GMs when you look at the draft and how these guys select their players? We know that Schneider is he's not like a need guy. He definitely is going to try to take the best player available regardless of need. But who else does a really good job in the draft in your opinion?
Well, it's interesting. Teams will say they're picking the best player available, but interestingly, the best player available always seems to meet one of their top 2 or 3 needs. It's kind of funny how that works. I think the Eric DeCosta with the Ravens, they've been very good at the draft since Ozzie Newsome was really running the show. I've always appreciated what they do. Brandon Beane with the Bills has always done a really good job. The Steelers have been good for years. Even when Omar Khan took over, they've been doing a really good job letting the draft come to them, not forcing things, and building their roster through mid-round picks and things like that people don't really think are sexy at the time. Those are the guys. Jason Light from Tampa Bay has done a really good job too, and Howie Roseman, of course, with the Eagles, has built a perennial Super Bowl contender. So I think those are the top guys. And it's no surprise that they're at the end of the first round in the playoffs every year.
Hey, Chad, in your mock, your most recent one, you got the Seahawks at 32, going with a cornerback that you just mentioned, and Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. For those that may not be familiar, what is it about him you think makes him a good fit? Obviously, they do have a need because Rick Woolen has moved on. Kobe Bryant, who was a safety who could play corner, moved on, so there is a need. But what is it you see in Chris Johnson that tells you that would be a good pick for the Seahawks?
Well, he's got the size-speed combination that you want. Competitive player, which is always important for cornerbacks. But what was really impressive at the scouting combine, he showed the best footwork of any corner in the class. And you combine all of that stuff together, and he's, looks like a very good prospect to start immediately. And if he ends up being available at 32, I would certainly think they would have to strongly consider taking him, because there's not a lot of other corners in this draft that have all of those things that I just mentioned.
Hey, one guy I've kind of focused in on, Chad, is D'Angelo Pons. And, I think the reason why is because he kind of reminds me of Witherspoon a little bit, just the way his quickness and, how aggressive he is. Not a big guy, he's 5'8", 5'8", 180 pounds. But tell us about that guy. I can see him drawing a little bit of attention from John Schneider.
Yeah, he's really interesting because you don't see a lot of 5'9", 170-pound cornerbacks going in the first round. And his speed was good at his pro day, but at 170 pounds, even you're expected to run in the 4.3s when you're 170 pounds. It's force equals mass times acceleration, right? It's simple physics. So I think he's a top 50 player. It would be a little bit of a surprise for me if you pick a guy that slight in the first round, but certainly, again, another competitive, quick guy, but that's a lot of size. That's a lot of size to give up. And, maybe he turns into Antoine Winfield, the longtime player in the NFL, despite a lack of size. It's possible. But certainly Witherspoon has a couple of inches and 10 pounds on him coming out from the combine. So, it's a reasonable thing to say, but I think the size issue will probably scare off teams.
Hey, you touched on this a little bit earlier in one of your answers, but just for clarity, in your opinion, which position groups are the strongest, deepest in this draft, and which are the ones that you're looking at saying that it's not a good year for this, whether it's quarterback or whatever it is?
Yeah, well, certainly quarterbacks in that is probably the weakest position in this draft. Running back is okay in depth, but I'd probably put that one as the other weakest. As I mentioned, a lot of off-ball linebackers in this draft. Wide receivers, you can get a lot of different types of wide receivers on day 3 to meet your needs, so that's pretty good depth there. The edge rushers is interesting because there's a lot of depth, but then there's a lot of guys with short arms or aren't very tall, or there's guys that have gotten after the quarterback. So it'll be an interesting case study on arm length and height and all these things, and see how effective these guys can become at the next level. And then tight end is about as deep as they get. I think there were 28 tight ends at the combine this year, and that really doesn't happen. And that might include a couple of guys who are more H-backs, but still, that's a lot of depth. So I'll be interested to see how many of those guys get picked.
Chad, the mock drafters like yourself fascinate me. I mean, you're doing 5 rounds now. I mean, it used to be like people would do first or second. You must get very familiar with all these players. And the second part to that question is when do you start for next year, and do you have any indication of what next year's draft might look like?
Yeah. So I start my process in May. So I, as a contributor on both the NFL Network and the NFL.com side, I provide information, and I often write up 1,300, 1,400 players, biographical information, and you can't do that starting in November. So you have to start doing like the first 3 or 4 years of a guy's career during the summer, and then you just add on that last year, as the season ends. So it's a 12-month process. It's interesting. I have a 7-round mock draft, I believe, coming out within the next couple hours, if not tomorrow morning. And it's a cumulative process. So since mid-January, I've spent hundreds of hours on these mock drafts to try to primarily first put the players in the area of the draft in which I think they should go in terms of value. And then you kind of looking at the teams that are within those areas of value, top 20, top 50, top 80 players, and seeing where these players fit. Because teams don't say, okay, our first need is a cornerback, our second need is a linebacker, our third need is an edge rusher, so we're going to go round 1, round 2. This isn't grocery shopping where you're running down the aisles and going down there. You're looking at players of similar value at these different positions with each pick. So I try to go through all of that, try to meet up team needs based on free agency, based on not just this year, but next year, because some teams, will look a year in advance, say, hey, this guy's going to be a free agent. We need to bring in a guy now that can step in for him in 2027. So there's a lot to look at, and you're never going to get the right answer, but all you can do is put it down on paper and hopefully give people some idea of some things that maybe they hadn't considered, or a general idea where players should be expected to go.
Hey, I was reading a story this morning, and it had quotes from the Chiefs GM, Brett Veach, and he was basically saying he expects this to be a really active draft. He says in his opinion, there'll probably be a lot of trades, and he doesn't feel like, he said something along the lines of guys that are mocked high may go lower, and some guys that are mocked low are going to go higher. He basically saying he doesn't think there's a huge gap between talent, players, and all that. So do you agree with that? Do you think it's going to be an active draft in the way of trades, or do you think maybe it goes the other way because it's perceived as a weak draft?
It's interesting that he said, I read that, and it's interesting that he would say that, because to me, if I think there are 12 players at the top of the draft that'll take those spots, but between 13 and 50, it's not really a big difference. And he's right in that some of the guys that we're currently showing as second-round picks will probably go first, and vice versa, because there's a little difference. And to me, that doesn't make sense to make trades within that area of the draft, because you're getting guys of similar value if you would just hold on 3 or 4 picks, and you're losing draft capital. Now, if teams don't value the draft capital at the end of this year's event because the talent isn't as strong, then maybe that makes a little more sense. So you're willing to give up that 5th-round pick, 6th-round pick, and just go with undrafted free agents because you think the value between them isn't different. That part of it would make sense. But I'm not willing, certainly, to give up a pick next year or a 4th-round pick in this draft to move up 4 spots for a guy that I might still be available when I'm on the board, especially when there's not a lot of quarterbacks that are going to be, worth using those picks for. So I think he's right in one sense, but if they do make a lot of trades, while I'm doing my draft grades, during the event, I'm going to be like, do they really need to give up a 4th-round pick or a 4th round in next year's draft to move up 5 spots for a guy? That's just a little impatience to me.
He is Chad Reuter, draft analyst for the NFL Network and NFL.com. He's been our guest here with Wyman and Bob. Chad, pleasure to speak with you, man. Really appreciate you taking the time with us, and looking forward to draft night and seeing how everybody's mock draft stacks up.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now how they'll stand up. No, it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. And I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have a lot of faith in his mock draft standing up. I'll tell you right now, it's going to stand up. It's not going to be good.
I mean, the biggest upset would be if John held fast at 32, just because he has a strong discipline on who is and is not a first-round draft choice.
Well, and plus, didn't he just say today, we play the clip, he's going to trade back?
Yeah, now, I don't know if that means the first round. We were trying to really parse that. I mean, they want more picks, so
right.
Could be
second
round.
Do you have that clip handy? Can you play that again? I just want to hear it.
Yeah, hold on here.
Pay close attention. Let's see if we can parse John.
I mean, it's no secret with us, guys. I mean, we have 4 picks, so we'll be looking to move back.
Yeah, I can't imagine either way that he would tip his hand. So
that seems surprising that he would.
But it would be a huge,
because they didn't trade back
upset
when they had 3 picks. They just made 3 picks.
Yeah. So I mean, the fact that this is universally known, I think almost everybody agrees it's a weak draft. So if there are 32 first-round grades to give out, as he does have, now he says all the time, I'm not drafting for the rest of the NFL.
Right.
I'm drafting for our team. And so maybe somebody miraculously slips back to number 32. He's still there. Then, okay. But I'd be surprised, just because everybody talks and how they value, every position. I would think that, the first rounders would be exhausted by then. And by the way, is maybe, 20 through 32 are going to try to do the same thing, because, I've heard
trying to trade back.
Yeah, trying to trade back and maybe that's where the real wheeling and dealing goes on, because, I've heard John at some point say, yeah, there's only 20 first rounders.
Right.
If this is a crappy one,
maybe there are 10.
Maybe there's 10. Yeah, 10 or 12. So, yeah, I think there's going to be some surprises, and I think that's what will make it interesting, because, we've spent a lot of time talking about, okay, we only got 4 picks. We got the last pick, and so it's not going to be like fireworks at the draft, but maybe it is. Maybe it turns out to be.
What did we say? It's a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 6th, I think, right?
Yeah.
1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 6th currently.
Right.
And I'm hesitant to say, because I got burned last time I did it when they, 2021? When they took D. Eskridge, Trey Brown, and Stone Forsythe. I was like, well, the one thing we know is John is not going to just sit there with 3 picks. They're going to accumulate more picks.
Yeah.
Wrong. I was wrong. They went with all 3. That was not a good draft. That is not a draft to hang your hat on, because none of those guys worked out. But I mean, there's still a part of me that feels like, yeah, he's not going to just go into it with 4 picks. But again, what's the urgency to accumulate more picks? Now, we don't know if he believes that the draft is weak like everybody else does. He may be looking at it going, hey, I see a lot of players in here I'd love to have. Maybe they're not first rounders, but we think this guy could be good in this situation. This guy could be good in this situation. So maybe he views it differently, to where he would want to accumulate more picks, but it seems a bit counterintuitive if the consensus is that, it's not great. So why would you want more bites at that rotten apple?
Right. Yeah, unless they're, 4th, 5th, 6th picks, round picks. So, yeah, and Forsythe, I remember that year, you're talking about 2021, they stayed put with Eskridge, right? That was
they took Eskridge. I think he was a 2nd rounder, though. I think they didn't have a 1st rounder that year.
He was. So, and then they traded back in to get Stone Forsythe. They didn't have a 6th round pick, and they did something to, or maybe it was a 7th rounder. I don't remember that, but so it was very uneventful. Very uneventful. But
it didn't. We thought Trey Brown was going to be a player. Didn't work out.
He made some great plays, and then just he was a smart guy. Remember, he was the guy that in the Big 12 championship game down in Dallas had like 3 or 4 of the biggest plays that basically changed the game. And, somebody was saying they should erect a statue of him outside of the Dallas Cowboys stadium, whatever that's called. Cowboy Stadium, I guess. So, he had a lot of promise. They got him in the 4th round, so it wasn't like a big deal. You're going to pay him a lot of money, and just didn't work out with him. Yeah, and it didn't work out with Eskridge, who could never stay healthy. The guy was just hurt, seemed like from day one. Forsythe was part of a group that gave up, 60 sacks? Yeah, last seen on the Raiders' O-line. Yeah. So... Yeah, let's hope for better returns on their draft investments this year. Whether it's 4 players or whether they trade back and accumulate more picks, we'll see. But yeah, that was a weird year. But I was just so certain. Like, the one thing we know is he's not going to just go with 3 picks. He's gonna trade and accumulate more picks. Right? No, it was like the Kristen Michael draft. Yeah. Well, the one thing we do know, they're not going to take a running back. No. Yeah, that's right. Their very first pick that draft in the 2nd round, Kristen Michael. Welcome to the John Schneider draft. Yeah, trying to predict is that's an exercise in futility, certainly. All right, you got the Mariners taking on the A's, fresh off of a series win over the Rangers. Hopefully they can do the same and get it started tonight with Emerson Hancock on the hill. Pre-game show coming your way next. Our thanks to Ryan Rowland-Smith, Matt Hasselbeck, and Chad Reuter. If you guys missed any part of today's show, you can find those conversations at seattlesports.com. Click the podcast tab. Click on our picture. It's right there. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow with Wyman and Bob.
4 down territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
What concerns you when it comes to the 30-second pick?
A lot of us talk about the 30-second pick like Price is just going to be there. Like, he's there, let's take him. I went on NFL.com. Nick Shook wrote an article about teams' needs. There are 2 teams that he thinks before the Seahawks need a running back. And if they go that route, then Price isn't going to be there. How are these guys going to pivot? Those 2 teams are the Jags and the Broncos.
Catch every 4 down territory on the Seattle Sports app.
Do you need a new roof? Then trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing to get you taken care of this spring. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and secure $500 off your roof replacement. Right now, you can still take advantage of spring pricing and beat the summer rush. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Lee Johnson Auto Family.
The best path at that point was to stop for the night, and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier.
The LJ way.
With Popeye's new $6 faves menu, you can get this 3-piece chicken, this 3-piece tenders, this chicken sandwich, or these 2 regular sides for just $6 a piece. I know you can't see what I see, but trust me, those bold Louisiana flavors look so good, you might just have to get them all. Now there's an idea.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Terms apply.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text TIP to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text TIP to 215-215. That's TIP to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you have
haven't filed taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Mariners and A's tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Hello, Seattle. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? Hey, Brock Heward here. And working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years. And you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months. Plus, mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here. So go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.